what's up guys, and welcome to today's NOVRITSCH backstage video where I will share my impression right after the game. I just, played here for a couple hours with this thing. This is the Wolverine Gen12. This is a HBA powered semi and fully automatic shotgun. I believe it fires 8 BBs with one shot. Let's try to count it. Impossible to count, might be more. My impression. Let's start with what I really like. And also as a disclosure, this replica was given to me by Sam, one of the guys who run this field. I was not sponsored by Wolverine or anyone. This is really my honest opinion as a player. Good, what I like is weight. Like, this thing is not too heavy, yeah. It's all, I think it's machined aluminum. That's why it's quite light. It's gonna be strong as well. This thing is quite a tank, I believe. Then I do really like, obviously, that this thing shoots this many BBs. However, when it comes to firing on semi, I will mention my first negative point. I can only trigger it so fast. Look. So it skips the trigger pulls. I believe that's due to the feeding system. It just needs time to get those BBs into the chamber. So I guess that's a technical limitation. Just something that, you have to be aware of if you think about getting this thing. Now on full auto, funny enough, I can fire it faster on full auto if I pull the trigger semi. Yeah, something to be aware of. I was running it mostly on auto and I was just triggering it semi. Quick tip for those of you who own this thing. Then, what else did I like? I like the form factor. It's quite useful, even though it looks a bit, I guess, like a 7.62 battle rifle or something like this. Like, it really doesn't look unique in any way, shape or form. But yeah, it's just very useful. It's this AR-15 kind of form factor, meaning you can do your shoulder transitions, you can adjust your length to pull and all of this. So that is just nice. My next plus point, this thing is actually playable. This is not a gimmick. Many of these very unique airsoft guns, they're just gimmicks and they're cool for videos and as wall hangers. This thing, you can actually run it, like in a field like this, where you have, engagement distances of, if I see a guy over there, let's try if I could hit him. Yeah, maybe the push in the back, I could maybe hit the guy. This is, I think, maybe 30 meters. So it is quite effective in an environment like this. Now, the things I didn't like, because there's a couple. First of all, for that price, it's just weird that they didn't get the receiver tolerances tighter. Like, I can get this or less wobble for probably 100 euros. And this thing is way beyond that. I don't know the actual retail price right now. I'll just put it on the screen. But this thing is fucking expensive, right? Like, why? I don't know. It's machined. Like, you can make this much better. So I'm not sure why they didn't take care of this. This is a bit strange. It's also made in the US. Like, the guy who is making this, the guy who runs the company, he knows what he's doing and he knows how this is supposed to feel. So it's just a little weird that that they didn't take care of this. Doesn't bother you during the game. It's just, when you spend this much money, you can expect a flawless gun, basically. Feeding wise, I saw in some other reviews that this thing doesn't feed. I haven't had these issues whatsoever. Like, this thing fed every single time. Like, it feeds flawless and it also functions almost flawless. Yeah, I have some gripes, like here in the back. I keep hearing leaks and I already changed this hose to another one, so I don't think it's the hose, and I never had this on other guns. I don't know if it's the connection or if it's somewhere inside the gun. I'm not sure, but this is something that just bothers you during the game because you wanna, you do your shoulder transition and all of a sudden you have tension on the hose and then you hear this hissing which just kind of threw me off. But I'm not sure if this is just this one. I'm not sure. I am not a big fan of this stock. Like, this is so hard to press. It's very strange. Like, if I want to do quick adjustments, I really have to grip it and really press to adjust it. And I don't know for what reason it's like this. Is this the real steel stock? I'm not sure. Maybe this is actually the real steel BCM. If so, then I don't change my opinion. This is still, I think it's just too hard to press. Like, I really have to change my grip to change the stock length on this guy. Next one is the hose out here. I feel like I don't know. When I do my shoulder transitions, I felt like it's not a better position than having the hose out the grip. Like, it seems a bit more in the way. I also can't collect the stock all the way and I put pressure on the hose. So yeah, not entirely sure why they chose to put the connector here. I would prefer it here. I know inside this grip is the battery. Also this grip compartment is kind of, I don't know, it's just like these two components are both of these. I think this is also a PCM grip. I don't know if it's the original one. I do see the branding on it. I assume it's the original one. So, I don't know, I just don't like it. It's like all of this stuff is so... doesn't feel nice to use it somehow. I don't know if that's just me. I guess it doesn't open on accident, so that's nice, but... man, you have to... like, I really struggle to open this actually. It's like one side, two side, yeah, then you get in there. So here is your battery compartment. Yeah, I think I would prefer to hose out the grip and have the battery in the stock. It's not a big deal. Maybe there's technical limitations on why it is like this. Could be because, I don't know, is it for opening the receiver? No, that shouldn't make a difference, right? Yeah. Not entirely sure, that's probably a good reason. Also, just as a disclosure, I didn't spend much time researching this gun, like I literally just took it and played with it, so I'm sharing my first game impression. You know, there's probably many details about this gun that are good and that are bad, but I, you know, didn't look into it. This is just a very first impression kind of video. Now, what I really disliked is the sling point. First of all, it's key mod. I guess the original one is key mod. Not a fan. Yeah, I prefer M-Lock, but yeah, I guess this is not a valid complaint. Yeah, QDs, it's kind of weird because I have one QD in the back, but then there's no other QD on this gun. I guess that's also because the original one is like this. But yeah, I kind of struggled slinging this gun. I put a QD sling point here on top, and at this point I'm not even running a sling anymore. You can see me actually not running a sling because I couldn't find a good way of slinging it. Like, I was slinging it only from the rear, but then it hangs too low and shoulder transitions are kind of awkward. So I personally love sling points here, but this is where the HPA connector is, so another reason for me that I would want the hose out the back. Because with these kind of shotguns, you know, you will use this in CQB, and in CQB you have to do shoulder transitions all the time, like non-stop. And I don't think there's a good 2-point sling setup where you can do flawless, you know, not flawless, but effortless shoulder transitions. Didn't like it that much. At long range, it is quite useless. There, anything beyond, let's say, 35 meters, don't even bother. You just got wasting a lot of BBs. For this, I used this guy here, so SSP5 in a carbine kit. So I'm shooting 0.4 gram BBs at 1.5 joules. So I basically made up for the range with that thing, which I kind of liked that combination. It was interesting that my primary is my low range high volume gun, and that my secondary is the gun that I use for long range. That was different, yeah. I didn't run such a setup in a while. Other than this, I quite like it, yeah. Just very useful, very easy to do your mag transitions. Also only one BB falls out. They have this really cool design of a, you know, spring here on the feeding nozzle. Very genius design. Also, this is highly innovative, yeah, something I didn't mention at all. Like, this is highly innovative, and that also kind of justifies the price because they have to finance this development, right? They didn't just copy another Marui gun. They actually did something new, something cool, and that just costs money, especially developed in the US. High labor on people who are good engineers, so I'm not surprised that it actually costs in the end this much. So I can't really... I know a lot of people have been shitting on this gun for its price and then, you know, making this duck sound, which is another thing. Yeah, it sounds like a duck, but hey, whatever, right? Like, I guess they made it work, and yeah, making it sound good maybe just not be the priority. Good. Would I recommend it? I wouldn't recommend it as your first gun. I also wouldn't recommend it as your second and third gun, but if you have a bunch of guns already and then you feel like I want to try something new and you have the budget for this, yeah, I don't see why not. Like, probably better than buying just another AHE that just does exactly the same thing as your other AHEs. You know, it's just something different that also changes the game dynamic a little bit. People are a little bit scared of this actually, especially in CQB, and I understand why. I mean, if you get shot by this, it's not very comfortable as it's so many BBs all at once. It makes a funny sound, and that's very recognizable, so people will, when you shoot, they know where you are, and people ask you if they can fire it. So it is one of these, you know, attention grabbers. So if that's what you're into, then this one might be for you. Will I buy one for myself? No, I will not, but maybe I will borrow it once a year or something like this, because it was fun. I enjoyed this game. These are, by the way, not the original mag. These are, I believe, the Cyma mags. Yeah, I just borrowed this gun. That's how I got it. I know there's the original mags as well. They have empty mag detection. I assume that it has a functional bolt catch and all that. I don't think that's really needed in airsoft. I never found it very necessary, but I guess it's nice that it has it. That's about it. That's my opinion on the Wolverine Gen12.